Welcome again to the Ben Stash Show. I'm your host, Ben Stash. Today we are talking about property and real estate. We'll be looking at details and how you can get started and some tricks, even crime happening in the property business. And I'm with my friend and business partner, Mr. Ramonyane Tlou. Mr. Ramonyane, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ngiyabonga.
And I'm happy for coming when
Yes.
I asked you to join us.
No, it's a pleasure,
Yeah, I have known you for some time now, and I can say you are a property guru.
No, too soon. Yeah, but I am a property consultant, but guru coming soon, after 10 years.
I know 10 years is a long time.
Yeah, we're all still learning. The business is so vast because there's different sectors of it.
Yeah.
There's different laws that govern it.
Okay.
And they keep changing, so I'm still learning.
You're still
To this day,
learning.
after 7 years of, this was supposed to be what I call a detour to my passion, which was I studied music.
Oh.
So I could raise money to build a real studio, not like a bedroom studio.
Okay.
Then I realized that I love what I was doing. Like I fell in love with it. I was doing it to raise funds.
Okay.
So I can build the studio. Then I went from there to like running it as a business, going from me being employed to be an employer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I never knew that you've got a music background. And I mean, as you say, you studied music. Can you please tell us more about it?
So I studied music production at Soul Candy Institute of Music.
Yeah.
It was I like there was a short course. So the thing is, this doubt after you leave high school.
Yeah.
I've always been business minded. I've always sold things at school. Always traded for like for money. I always knew what to push to get money because I am from SOA to Dobsonville.
Okay.
By using the LSMs, I was lower middle class.
Yeah.
Background, I'm a middle child. I like winning. So whenever I was not winning, I had to come up with a solution to win.
Okay.
So I saw that if I can do sales, because I am known to be very verbal, so I knew I could use my mouth and I could trade
I
words.
never thought you verbal. You come to me
Nah,
as a very
no.
introverted
I'm
person.
not introvert.
I'm not introvert. lah.
Money talks, so I'm speaking that language. So
Okay.
then I learned how to trade. Then I realized I had a skill.
Yeah.
Then someone spoke, hey, property. I was like, I don't think I'm that guy because I'm also have a lot of energy. I'm hard
Yes.
to
Yeah.
keep sit for a long time.
Yeah.
Then I saw a company called Engel and Focus, which was my first internship in like ever. I was
Okay.
like, when's that? Like, then I saw there was no black agents on the flyer. I was like, I'm concerned. Why don't we are in the continent of brown people. There should be at least one black person.
At least one.
So I called them up. I was like, yeah, I'm looking at your flyer. Where are the black people? And I'm talking to the principal, Sharon.
Yeah.
It's like, who's this? I was like, Ramonyane Tlou.
Yeah.
I'm from Soweto,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
In other words, you were now advocating
Yeah.
for the black community to say, I can't be seeing a flyer with all white faces.
I was advocating for self first. I think
Oh, for
there's-
self.
Yeah, you know why?
I
Because I
love
think
that.
before you can stand for other people,
Yeah.
you have
You
to
need to
represent
stand for-
yourself.
Yeah,
We always
sure.
misrepresent other people because we've misidentified ourselves.
I love
so
that.
once I realized what I man, so I got an interview, got an internship for 3 months there.
And
And it
your
changed.
life turned around.
It changed from work ethic. I thought I was lazy until I was in an environment where people were winning and I wanted to win. That's what it was.
I love that.
Only black person in the office except the cleaning lady. I was like, what's going on here?
What's going on?
But then I, of course, became friends with some of the people. Then I learned the business. Because I don't mind being wrong. Because that's how I go up.
And that's how, yes.
I'm not sure.
Actually, that's how you also improve
True.
and self-rectify.
No,
know?
very true, very true.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So I saw that gap, stayed there, met Judith from Black Diamond Properties,
Okay.
a black woman who was selling real estate in what you call, the East, but like suburban. I was like, she's killing it here. When I was done with my internship at Engel Focus, I went to work for Judy, so I could learn more and be more established.
Yeah.
Did that for the most. I think I did it for 5 years. Then I've
Okay.
been running as a full-on, like my own boss
Okay.
for the past 2 years now.
Oh, that's beautiful. So please tell me, I'm quite interested in the Soweto background.
Yes,
You know, with
yes.
your name, Rami or
Ramonyane,
Ramonyane, Tlou,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always thinking Northwest or something. But now, here you come, you blow your mind. You say Soweto. Please tell me, what's up? You grew up in Soweto and the schools you attended.
So I am from Etopsonville, Station 3. Yeah, it's the township.
Are you
Guys,
still in touch with
guys.
Soweto?
Of course,
Yeah.
I'm regularly a Soweto because that's where the family is.
Oh,
So
that's
when
great.
I'm not here or away on
Yeah.
holiday or whatever,
Yeah.
in Sekas. Yeah,
Okay. Anything perhaps you'd like to say to the Sowetans, to your fellow Sowetans?
yeah. It is ours.
Fellow.
It is ours
Yeah.
to make valuable, meaning it is ours to dominate because we don't. Every majority of businesses that you find in Soweto, let it be a franchise,
Yeah.
it's not people from Soweto. Let
It's
it be
not people from Soweto.
from the filling station, which is garage, to like a fast food joint that's a franchise.
Yeah.
You find out like there's only one black person out of all the collective there.
Local.
Yeah, and it's big business. Soweto did 1.4 Maponya Mall retail value when they were doing like the numbers during the World Cup. It was 1.4 billion. I've not seen the numbers now because
Okay.
there's no one reporting the numbers
You
now.
also follow stats.
No, you need to see the way the numbers are. We are big. We are big business.
Okay.
We are big consumers as a people in the world, not just here
Yeah.
in America. It's in the trillions. Yeah,
It's in the trillions.
of dollars. So
Yeah.
we are the money. There's more cash flow happening, even net yield. So Italians net yield is 6% compared to suburbia, where you'd find that in Sunning Hill would be 1%, 2 at most, which is unheard of with the current conditions we have. So you stand more to grow with value because of the population. Banning about the Soweto.
Okay.
So
But still, I needed to have a word with your fellow Sowetans.
yeah.
Just talk to them. Please look at that camera and talk to them direct.
Let's own Soweto, guys. We can't always be renting. As you owning all of us, like from whatever you can. If you are starting a t-shirt brand, you can now be online. You don't have to now have a physical store. Represent where you're from without forcing it, like a natural representation. I didn't do property more than Jablani, the CBT, where I worked for Ikagro, and I saw that black people do have money. I just want to see more of us also contributing to the space by owning the businesses that are trading in Soweto.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question about Soweto.
Yeah.
Looking at Soweto then and now, right? Property-wise,
Yes.
is there a difference
Yeah. There's a
then and now?
Now.
Recently, I've seen that, there is a property value that is now attached to Soweto properties, and that is becoming a game changer. Because, there was another property that was sold for something like 3 million in Soweto, and it caused a big buzz, in the press, that now you can sell a property for 3 million and above in Soweto, But sadly, there are so many properties in Soweto that could have been of that value, but were not valued by the city council. Can you please have somewhat to say about that?
So I'll speak from an agent point of view because the city council, I don't know Bona when they do their stats. Like I know they have a format, but I'm speaking from like being the person who'll be selling on evaluation. So most people use very, very, very good quality finishes. They hire well. They get the plans approved. They have the right stand.
Yeah.
They have the right neighborhood. DK extension.
Oh, yes.
Thompsonville, Pimville.
Yeah.
It's also prime location. Like it's where you buy. Like location is the business.
Yes.
Because I don't think there's something I heard before and it like stuck with me that God does not make any more land. So if you could own land,
keep it.
You can sell where you live, go rent as long as you own that land because you don't know who's gonna want to build there, who's gonna want to use your space as traffic. There's a time where like Iriavaya, when it was expanding, there was people that were bought out their houses where Petopsonville, so they can make the road bigger, and those people of course benefited from that type of business. And there was land behind, so the land was owned by the state, but the houses nearby where the road is now being expanded at Dobsonville, between Dobsonville and Snake Park, had people that were residents there. So you do want to own land. Any like land ownership will change your life. Like that's something.
Land ownership will change your life. There's a movie. Let me tell you how I got to learn about loving a land. I watched a movie long time ago. That movie is called Far and Away. So there's a girl who's from a rich family in that movie, and there's a gentleman who's from an underprivileged family. So this guy is from an underprivileged family, and he was handsome. So the girl fell in love with this guy. In fact, he saw this guy's jewels and said, Wena, you can be helpful to me.
Sure.
But this girl from a rich background said to this gentleman, this is what my father said. Said, a man has nothing until he has land.
True.
I was watching a movie, but my life turned around from that statement that a man has nothing until he has land. And there's something profound that you have just said now, that God is not creating any more land. So when you get yourself a piece of land, keep it.
True, very true. I'll do exactly that, because for me, I spend more time renting before any form of property purchase.
Yeah.
Because I not only had the fear of how will I maintain, because I'm in a sales performance-based industry where I don't have a salary. Like I create that, it's generated through activity of what I make my own salary type of thing.
Okay.
So when you're in sales, you generate that number. So you have to be consistent at least for 6 months for you to go, I can sacrifice. So then I met an owner who does flipper, where they buy houses and they flip them.
Actually
like,
they flip properties.
Yeah.
That is another exciting business though.
Stressful because
it is stressful because I mean you have to work in a short space of time.
No, you're working with people. So
if you work with people as well.
If you're working with someone who's not consistent, it's on you. It's not on like
you can incur
the buyer.
losses.
Yeah, you can like it's real money. I know people that do the work themselves. They run a company, so they're not outsourcing. Outsourcing is my best my best resource is outsourcing. My admin is outsourced.
Yeah.
My digital, my IT guy, because now I have to pay them per service. I don't have to pay them on a monthly, like a fixed rate.
Oh, you pay them per service.
So that's more manageable
Yes.
on the business side of things, so that I don't overwhelm myself. Because I've seen a pandemic showed us.
Yeah, flames. Pandemic
we're
showed
not in
us
charge.
flames.
Actually,
So I went to the South Coast, right?
Yes.
The South Coast is a very beautiful place, laid back.
Yes.
I mean, it's just tranquil.
Yes.
Sometimes they call it the retirement village.
Yes.
And I was house hunting.
Yes.
I started looking in Durban, and I thought, you know what, I don't like Durban because Durban resembles Joburg more. You know, Durban is like a sister city to Johannesburg. So I felt like I can't believe in Joburg and going back to another.
The sister city, I like that.
You like that?
City,
it's a sister city. The only difference is that they've got a coastal. You know, they've got the beaches
beach,
that side.
The beach, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, so I discovered, I say I discovered because I didn't know there is Margate or there is the South Coast. So when I went to the South Coast, all the real estates I dealt with were Caucasians.
Yes.
And it troubled me, and I felt like, why is it that Africans are not so much into real estate? And, you know, you will really understand what I'm going to say now. Real estate or realtors, they have this flair of putting their pictures on their boards.
Yes. Sure.
And you hardly see an African picture, or maybe from Remax. I have purchased, let me say, several properties with Remax and stuff like that. So what would you say in that angle? Are Black people not considering real estate?
They do, and they are, but then you realize you walk into industries. I'll make an example even regarding e-banking and the current banks that are commercial banks exist because when they started operating, the laws they have now created to regulate the industry have increased by like thousands. Like the requirement is no more basic. which
yeah,
is
the
why
requirement is no more.
no. Which is
Yeah.
why the VBS thing was very like, oh, what happened? Like, was very what you call politicized and blackified. I call when you black things like make them negative.
Okay.
Oh, black people.
Yeah.
And then we black ourselves when we criticize blackness negatively.
Okay.
We get ignorant of our own blackness. Like,
Yes.
also, you're saying you're also the same as the reference you are using that's projected by media. So there's that conversation we're not having. But to not digress from what I'm making the point of the banking regulation, the regulations required, and you running a business in property, there's regulations that cost, and people are not willing to pay. There's regulations of what's required for you to be an agent. You need to qualify your NQ4, NQF5. All those things require, if you don't have a CETA or you don't have a learnership, it's things you don't want to sacrifice because you assume there's no money. But then the research I heard, which for me was like blew me away, that I was reading upon was when I discovered that not even 8% of the income, which is 13 billion plus minus, 13 billion,
Yeah.
is black people are under 8% of that
my God.
earning of com. And I'm like, but who owns the businesses?
Yeah. Who owns the businesses?
Who? It's not us.
runs the
in
game?
In a brown, I call it the brown continent because this is where we are, right? The
Yeah,
continent,
this is where we
because
are.
like the scale of saying South Africa, you're limiting the borders that, of course, colonization, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at it broadly because I know construction companies that are active in Tanzania, that are from here. They don't have anything here that they've built,
Oh,
but they're established in other African countries.
Wow.
So you learn, you're like, "Hi, man, then you look at the regulations and the requirements,
look at the
and you're like, oh,
regulations.
of course, this is keeping us outside. This is
In fact, the regulations are setting a red tape.
just like just like all the industries.
Yeah.
It's like I hear people say, "Domyama, they love to show off, whatever." I'm like, no, we just work. We do more for everything. We work harder for it. If I went, thank God, I went from Hector Peterson, Lens Public School, West Rand to the Adlar. I've been
Are those
to
schools private schools?
No,
Would you say, look, would you say the private school background has enhanced your life as compared to perhaps if you have gone
multiracial,
to...
private, because it was parastatal owned, from what I know.
Okay,
the Adler.
parastatal.
Yeah.
Okay, multiracial.
Yeah, multiracial.
Modesty.
Yeah,
You're one of
technically.
those.
No, mina ngikhulele eDumsi. I eDumsi. Like, I would walk to school, so I'm in a private school.
Okay.
I went from Hector Peterson to Lens Public School to West Rand, then the Adilar, and I'm glad of that differentiation and culture shock.
Yeah.
That helped me to understand that there's one thing that really brings the pace, right? We all need to live. We all need a place to live. All need a place to live. We all need a place to work. So all these things require places.
Yeah.
We all need a place to go to party. All need a place to go grief. Which it's all land from birth. It's Bedlela, indawo yokuhlala, indawo ebumnandi, indawo ethuna. It's all land.
It's all land.
I was like,
oh my God, we're missing out.
I mean, I was like, land, and then I'd find out most of the land owned in Soweto as well is owned by the likes of Telkom, and there's companies that own land in Soweto at scale. So I was like, why are we not owning this thing where we were put in? Because the setup of Soweto was not for us to develop or grow. It was there to
Squatter.
So there's a term that's used, skaktoma, what the IC is, what the man believes. If you put people together so closely, like we must know about our ancestors, our Kokon, and they never grew up like that. We lived in a village, but there was space.
Spaces.
But you wake up, your neighbor is here.
Yeah, your
You are
neighbor's
Puma, you Gitila. Like you are told the world is small. So that's what that psychology is your world is small.
Oh, your world is small.
So you're thinking,
small.
you're moving,
Small.
and it becomes
your life.
Becomes your measure of everything.
Yeah.
Like at least in your sevens.
Wow.
At least 10,000.
Okay.
That at least thing is a black thing. I've never heard Mina in my experience in property or in life where I would chill with other races and I'd hear someone say, at least, or 609. They don't have that psychology.
Yes.
It's only us. We are taught to
it's
be...
only us to think that
it's
at
programming.
least,
Fun. Those terms are not allowed
half
in my...
of bread is better than nothing.
That
language is only found with us.
It's not even found in my company. My team knows. We don't use those because I believe what you say does manifest. Like, I wouldn't have business. Don't project. Each way now, boni business. Because if the app has increased value, like Airbnb lost money during the pandemic, but when the world started opening up again,
Yeah,
the
they
numbers went
recovered.
crazy. Yeah, we also saw
they
numbers
recovered.
ourselves.
Yes.
That's the business we we are in. The Airbnb business, which is
Okay.
yeah.
So Rami,
Yes,
now
yes.
let us talk a property portfolio. Like you have your residential property and you have commercial property, and what else in between? Or maybe let us deal with commercial
Okay, both.
and residential.
My residential is, so I've learned the hack of property, or in business, like that you want to expand. Don't do things alone. So I've partnered up with some people who I can't mention because they are silent partners.
Okay.
But I have great clients like the likes of Mr. Mulepe. I have great Abonomzamo, like amazing people. I'm like I'm a client of my shocker. Like I think
yeah.
Abo Muloko. I won't say surnames because I'm not trying to like put them on blast. Like killing it. Like I meet I think when I'm moving and I'm like I'm in the space.
Yeah.
I just like guys. Then
Yeah.
I just meet people like
And then boom.
That's my building.
Oh my
That's
God.
my cousin's building. It's
Oh my God.
We're in Bram. What do you mean to? Yeah, it's mine. I come back to this one. You can check on your app, whatever.
Yeah.
I like that subtle, like angras, but I mean the thing. It's a very, like, it made me like, I don't project my numbers. I don't say I've never listed or taken pictures of proper. And I mean the space. I've seen how we are quick to hate a winner. Because we think ubthakathi, we think negative first. It's so easy.
We think
no. I guess abelungu bathwele bonke ne.
Abelungu,
I guess
ne?
if
Bathwele bonke,
bona
ne?
bahlala, like if I go
Yeah.
to Norwood and I'm the only black guy having coffee there,
Yeah.
I must feel like
Yes.
you're a corresponder.
Yes.
It's things that we have to like for me, I'll tell you, the day I don't have to like introduce myself, that's how I know I would have done the best work, because I do believe that you need to work so well, not the most, to differentiate yourself from everyone. Where Mdata Orems was here for an hour to make sure this thing worked. I don't mind. I know people that trade value, which is what I believe that's a bigger business than imali. The money is the transactional value, but the value of the relationship of saying, this guy stopped what he was doing to make sure this thing is, like I wait for the plumber.
Okay.
I don't have to wait for the plumber.
Okay.
I could give everyone instructions,
Yes.
but I want to show you that this is not a thing I do on the side. This is my bread. This is this how I eat.
Yes. This is my bread and butter.
Yeah, no. Because people assume it's like a magic.
Okay.
When I'm sleeping at 4 a.m.
Yes.
Yeah, they think it's magic. Yeah, when they're watching Netflix and we are up doing numbers,
up running.
restructuring,
Yes.
hiring,
Yes.
firing,
Yes. Working
self-doubting.
tirelessly, working around the clock.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
Rami, property, because there is a residential and commercial, and somebody doesn't know, and there are, in fact, there's a distinct difference
Big.
between the two.
Yes.
You can have commercial property. Neighboring residential,
yes.
but they are not of the same value.
True. So you would see that per square meter, which is the measure of how you measure a commercial, there's a commercial rate.
Yeah.
There's an industrial rate for Amafik, which
Yes.
is the industrial,
Yes.
commercial offices,
Yeah.
etc. Then for residential, it's where you live. The residential rate or the residential measure per square meter will be different because companies would pay a lease mostly to be there.
Okay.
You look at like the likes of Sentin, but I like Maboneng as a better example where you see residential, commercial, and then surrounded by industrial, because the area of Maboneng was majority industrial. So it's converted buildings that you see being built into residential.
Yeah, but let us talk about Maboneng.
Yes.
I think Maboneng paints a clearer picture. I was worried the first time I saw it on the press that they are converting industrial area or former industrial area into residential. Then I thought, but as a country, we need the industrial. Why can't we rejuvenate the industrial aspect of our city rather than turning every place now into a residential? So we are killing because when you look at what it is, it's like the richer gets richer and the poor becomes poorer. Am I wrong in that?
It's a universal language when it comes to the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. There's a scripture, I'm gonna get biblical,
Please do.
that says the poor will always be amongst you. That the disciples,
This is true.
which why
I
you allow,
remember that
why did you allow the woman to pour
Yeah.
a year's wages worth of oil, anointed oil, or
Yes,
oil upon
yes.
which is perfume?
Yeah.
Then he answers, which in our version, the King James City, the poor you'll always have amongst you. But then someone shared with me a translation that blew me away. It says the poor-minded. So ingqondo ukubhadla
The poor-minded.
athi bhadla ngithi
Listen,
bhadla.
Rami, can you please say that on your camera and say that poverty mentality?
Yeah,
that means everybody needs to fight the poverty mentality. When you think I can't, ask yourself why. It is not your background. That is what you're saying. It's not your background. It's not how much you have. Because rising from rags to riches, you don't need money. You need the right set of mentality and attitude and approach. And keep on striving, taking whatever you have.
True, very true. If you look at it right now, I'll make an example with something very controversial. Bitcoin, it went from like $68,000. Now it's at like 19, and it's done this drop before. Then it went extremely high.
Okay.
We're still conversating on what makes the value of it, and we're trying to understand the blockchain. When you come down to the root of every valuable thing, if you knew Mabone was going to be built here before it got built, you would have. Information will always be the number one commodity for me.
Yeah.
Because if you knew this thing was going to be here, you'd have come in
Earlier.
and then benefited from that traffic.
Yeah.
Because like any economy, it's nature.
Okay.
But the same as a plane has to land,
Yeah.
birds do it too. I've failed more than 5 times in my business, like consistently because I was doing other things on the side. I didn't focus on property when I was starting out. When I was working, I pursued other things, apparel, which now I co-own with a friend, and now it's more better managed. It's redeveloping Nanani because you learn that people are. There's a powerful thing Emmanuel Bonoko said, and he said, "Don't be ashamed of your struggle." And at the time, I was winning. When I tell you the psychology that when God talks to you before things happen, I was like, I wonder and struggle.
Struggles.
I
What are
got better. I change temperature, global warming. Accounting. Where's the money? In the money account. You're like, I'm just being transparent.
Yeah.
Then I was like, this is not. I'm supposed to be somewhere like Houghton.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh my
beach
God.
house.
Oh my God.
Asking Sipo to tell Mandla to bring the chopper, whatever. You know, like dramatic. Is just nandi before go on Instagram. Tell abazali bami ngithi mina ngifuna udriver yomlungu ngikhathelele into taxi.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes,
My
yes.
parents can vouch for me. I've always been this person, even my siblings. And when life knocked me down, I was like, God, where are you?
Where are you?
And at Stodla.
Yeah.
Ngizokufaka, relax.
Ngizokufaka into. Yeah, just wait a minute.
I made these things. These are all my things.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure, true.
Why are you tripping? Like there's trillions cycling in the illegal economy, ne?
Yes.
You're not counting the illegal economy. In the illegal economy, there's abundance. Why are you limiting your access? When about angina,
Yeah,
which again, if I said, can you give me a hug? You can, because you're assuming, because you can open up. But if you knew the transparency of you knowing that you saying yes is opening channels like bondage or whatever, depending on how spiritually fit you are, you would then understand that, there's other things at play. But because you opened up yourself, you can receive the compassion and the love. It's a tradable exchange because you agreed and like the universe is listening.
Okay.
Someone once said, I was like, what do you mean the universe? I said I wanted a nice house, a nice car. I was not specific.
Yeah.
So I got whatever that was available.
You got whatever that was
I
available.
need to know my in. But the moment I started getting more specific, Then I started seeing numbers I've never seen before.
Okay.
Started meeting people I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
That just like humble, but like rich. I'm like, no, but I saw your garage. Like, why you got some more? And the humble nature of people will make you understand why you must be humble.
Okay. Will you make the call to the
Yes.
government and the what you call the cities?
government,
I'm
yes.
sorry, but,
Go on, Father, Father.
but let us make a call to the government and say, let us revive industrial areas in South Africa. Our industrial areas are dilapidated. Look at Benrose. Benrose.
Yes, yes,
Benrose is right here.
Yes.
It's dead. Instead, that is where we get buildings hijacked. Do you understand? And those buildings hijacked, and they just squash people in there, and it does not help the community. Because when we have an industry or a sound industry, that means we will be manufacturing,
Yes.
and there will be employment in the country.
True.
Right now, we're crying high rates of unemployment because the country is not paying attention or is not prioritizing the revitalization of industry.
It's powerful observation, because I can myself tell you that the power of organized crime will always be the key lead or blockage of growth. The city is not misinformed. The city knows what's happening in the city.
Yeah.
Because the buildings are not moving.
What is stopping the city in doing what is right?
Again, I don't like getting into the political sense of things, because I'm a politic will have you looking like you're crazy.
Yeah.
For one reason, because you don't know who's making the decision and signing on it.
And
you don't
why?
know, and you don't know the motive.
Can I tell you a story, Rami?
Yes.
You know, there was another project which happened recently in this area. I won't say where. And on the local elections, one party lost over another. They halted that project. And what I heard was, we can never let that project proceed because this political party will take credit for it. And then who suffers?
Yeah.
The people. And it was a project that was supposed to benefit the community. That project had to wait.
No. It's a thing that happens when we. I'll tell you how I know. Like we must be some superhuman people, because we live in an African like context, in a like an invisible realm, like abamnyama or abantu abantsundu. But then the laws and the lifestyle that governs us, even language, it's of European descent. And if you follow history, it's all us, but like it's not original dialect for how we do things. Another way, politique, it's not of us. That's why it's not beneficial to us. The structures of it, how decisions get made on behalf of the taxpayer. For me, I knew that there's something that has disconnected with the people and the politicians when we were told that 500 billion was mismanaged aid during the pandemic.
Yeah, sure.
When the aid, not the budget that's regularly ran, where we pay into trillions in tax.
Sure.
So that number, 500 billion, was not new to the state when they were managing it. It's not a number that's too big for them.
No.
That's what I'm implying.
It's like 10 cents.
Yeah, no, the number. It's not a numeric that was like, we're like we're familiar because we in tax collections, we collect trillions.
Yes.
You would assume that the management of it will be beneficial since it's aid. It'll be put into small businesses. I didn't get no grant, nothing for my property business. I didn't get none for my apparel or my other ventures that I do. But there was loans being offered. I got very confused. Then I knew that we can never, the world won't change due to politics.
How did you feel about that 500 billion?
The same way.
Didn't you feel a pain?
The same way we should all feel. We should feel betrayed. We should feel that politics were never the answer.
Politics is never the answer.
No. We're doing like from inception.
Yeah.
Because we don't see the meetings that pass certain policies and that affect us like long term. Even the aid that was mismanaged. It's us who's going to repay it. My interest, the petrol inyukile, where's the petrol levy? You want to have a conversation of the technicality of things we've put in place to not be in a desperate situation, and you realize that we'll always be a victim in a like an easy access type of country to the world, because even our commodities still is there. We don't, like, you can go to the mining industry, you'll be lucky to see a lot of people that look like you that actually own the mine still, because people will be selling them. They're desperate. They can see that they're not getting funding from institutions. It's us killing us, and like this.
It's so sad.
It's the hardest conversation to have.
Sad. What is this liberation we're talking about? Are we free from what?
Yeah. So the misconception is that we assume that those who taught us to feel trapped will free us.
Okay.
We were free before.
We were free before.
Yeah, so the free didn't come from the
Ravi, can you please say that again? Can you say that again?
We were free before. The freedom we will experience is not new. It's genetically inherited.
Yeah.
We get it from our forefathers.
Yeah.
Those who walked the land that they owned, and the cattle, and the things. The country, let me tell you the truth. This country, for it to go forward, is for the white South Africa and the black South Africa, right? And you must know everyone else comes in between because of I'm using the numbers, the scales.
Yes.
The day the black and the white South Africa comes together, right? Intentionally, like, let's work together. I'm tired of this, looking at you like a criminal and you looking at me like a boss.
Yeah.
Let's make this thing work. Just like intentionally, like, hi, I'm open to working with you.
I don't think it will happen because, some people benefit largely.
No.
They are beneficiaries of that system.
You see, the thought of, I read this on a WhatsApp some time back. It says, the thought of scarcity created greed. So someone must have made it believable that aguna.
Yeah.
So someone blocks the idea of abundance.
Yeah.
So that's why people hog.
Yeah. Can I please simplify that?
Yes.
The thought of scarcity created greed.
Yes.
Rami, in short, is saying there is abundance out there, but the system is made so that people can believe that there isn't sufficient. And everybody believes, whatever I get, I need to hoard. There's no need to hoard. There is more than enough for all of us.
It's always been like that, by the way.
It's always been like that, and it will always be that
like
way.
Yes. This is,
wow. Wow.
True.
So let's talk about rates and taxes. The biggest headache in Johannesburg. Rates and taxes.
Again, and then you want to ask.
And the billing. Because,
the billing.
The billing. Let's leave rates and taxes alone, because rates and taxes are just a standard. Am I wrong? If you know that your property rates and taxes are this, they remain that way. But the billing crisis, when will we ever be free from that? Because we are owing hundreds of thousands. Unduly.
I'll give you how my business started. And there's an incentive called UDZ. I'm connecting it to what you're asking.
UDZ.
Yeah, it's urban development zoned areas that get a tax rebate. So the government will compensate you for investing, buying property in like Ramonyane, Bram.
Yeah.
But it's mostly the urban areas. There's a list of the areas in Joburg, a lot of these places you can buy sectional land, industrial, commercial. They're all given this incentive, right? When you buy for investment purposes. And you would see that even with the claims with my, existing clients from prior, that I would like, oh, did you claim your UTZ? They'd be like, what's UTZ? Then I saw that it's majority people of color, even those who heard about it, that are in like the accounting, the financial sector, that have not claimed it, but they have like 5 to 15 units each owning. I'm like, why don't you claim? They're like, oh, it's a hassle. I'm like, no, it's not. I know how to.
You know how to.
So that's what I specialize in.
That's your specialty.
That's my number one business.
Specialty,
And now relating to the rates. So most buildings that are residential, people didn't go and convert because you need to do the rezoning. Because most buildings, when people purchased, where there was they were developed for the previously industrial one and industrial, two.
Yeah.
Now you can go yourself as an owner.
Yeah.
And change it. Yeah, like rezone it. But then people don't want to do the legwork.
Rezone from what to what?
From industrial to residential, because it's residential. So you're paying. Some people are paying commercial rates, which are higher.
Oh. Oh, yes, of course.
residential and, commercial and residential
yeah.
are not measured the same.
Yeah.
Or built the same. So that's a service we also offer where you tell us, oh, I'm currently paying, like send us your COJ statement so we can see the zoning. It's written when you.
It is written on the statement.
Second page.
Yeah.
You'll see it. It's
Are we
there.
still receiving those statements?
Oh yeah, people are getting it via email.
Yeah, emails.
Yeah,
now.
I
because
advise you to get it.
because hard copy was a problem, like the post system.
You know I know someone who had to like go try get just to like break it down and like pay at least 40 of what they owed because they've never received like the invoice. They've never received the statement ever.
Oh.
So they didn't know because they're not even from the country. So
yeah.
it's a
Why
kind of
didn't they go to the council's office?
So they're paying levies. They thought that's what you pay in this country. They're not from here. They're from Europe. So when they moved here, they didn't know. So they're asking me. We have consultants that know how to.
Yeah.
Then you draw up your pleading. You get your. It's a process, but it's doable. But even the rezoning is doable.
But now the rezoning come at a at a cost, higher cost.
Cost. Because you must know the city benefits at billing you higher, because it's more money.
It's more money for them.
See, that's why I'm saying I can never speak for those. I've never worked or engaged at that level to go. Oh, you guys, you also don't know because it's written on the on the statement, so they know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's residential, but then you realize that. What Jonathan Liedman, who is the curator for Imaboning said, he said the city is unfinished. I was like, what does it mean? You can see things were built with a scattered. There's part of it that does I connect. We had the industrial. There's in between that. There's like a high dance of residential, like from back then, just not even an now thing from when the city was being developed, like in GP. How GP became GP. The person who purchased was looking for gold, but was a developer. Then they ended up developing because they are actually gold. The land. That's why it goes up to a certain point when you go to the highway. Then the other side is gold. So this side.
Oh, this side, and there's no gold this side. And so he really lost.
No. He went, I'm a developer. Let me develop, which is what happened here.
Yeah.
Which is the narrative for me was like.
I never knew GP Sound's history.
Yeah.
And now you just.
Yeah, and I was blown when I heard it. I was like, in the sense, Lento.
Yeah, it's
then,
beautiful.
Yeah, then you know the design of keeping the workers at bay. So your steady corner, because
what do you think about a hostel in this area? Because we do not have one hostel.
I know, but
three big hostels.
No. But you must understand that reference was based and designed for the industrial.
Yeah.
So now you need to redesign.
Are the hostels still serving the purpose today?
Yeah, because people live there.
Yes, people live there, overcrowding, and
like for me, like going back to the hijack building things, right? I never understood how. Well, I understand there's things, there's what I call the other conversations happening behind closed doors where you tell me a building is hijacked, but then there's people living there and you don't get them out and you don't have to dehumanize it. You can go, hi guys, in 6 months we'll be back here. We are now developing this area. If you don't have a shelter, we can write you down. There's a women's shelter here. There's a, like be human about it. I don't think we have to be savages.
Be human about
No. I don't think we can afford to be cruel to each other. I think black people have
suffered a lot.
I think Tina. We
need to protect ourselves.
Yeah, ourselves from ourselves, because it's a very same thing with like when you're trying to pursue something. If you don't commit to you, whatever you're trying to commit to will fail. So the need and the function of the city will never make sense until the state sees the money. There's so much money, so many buildings in Joburg that are in the CBD that are not functioning as registered, blah blah blah. But there's power going into that building.
Yes.
If the city intentionally seeks to make sure there's value here, people will move to cities. And like that's why overseas, when you travel, New York, very expensive city, they've built it to be livable. It's crowded. It's crowded. There's no lie about that. But it's designed for the workforce, livable, but it's a working engine. Like Joburg is livable. The crime makes it impossible to build a workable city.
Yes.
Because before we are anywhere in tourist or yourself, if you are dressed a certain way, you have to consider
Am I safe?
Am I target?
Yeah.
I must take the ring off. I must take the watch off.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever. Don't look a certain way.
Sure.
Most cities, it's the same. Just that they've built parts of it where you can walk blocks, like you can even forget that like you're in a city because they've consistently like measured the area for like in Manhattan, which is like a typical suburban upper LSM area. But if we can create an environment where we say we can all share the space, which is what I thought Maboning was doing pretty well because they didn't boom gate Maboning.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
boom
that was a
gate
very
Maboning.
powerful. Whoever thought of security and like let's hire visible security. Let's not boom it out. Very powerful because people knew that we are not excluding ourselves.
Yeah,
we are
I get
including
it.
ourselves. Yeah.
Yes. And lastly, Rami, please, what advice would you give to someone who wants to venture into property? What are the first steps they must take for them to get into property? Because I think I get that question a lot. People say, I want to get myself into property. What must I do?
For me now, I believe like I did unintentionally. For me, when I approach England Focus, approach property companies in turn, and go there knowing that you don't have to stay at that company. You can expand. You can grow. You can study. You can become your own boss. Or if you want to be like a high-rated agent, you can go work for one of the big real estate companies. There's many. But I do advise that we become people that build our own things. I know it's harder. It's harder because you need a mentor, you need a structure, you need balance, you need discipline, you need the things that are not visible. You need the consistency of being brave when things don't make sense, where you trust someone and now you're losing money because you trusted someone to commit to what you have come forward to do as a business. There's no healthy leadership training because there's no healthy visible leadership for people of color. Like if I had to ask you about who's your favorite leader, I'm not talking politics in general.
Yeah.
Black people will have. I'm like, no, I'm not talking about someone who's in a public, even in your space.
Sure.
Who's leading? Who do you value and go, oh, this guy, Miss Mang Mang. Me, I'm blessed that my clients are like leaders in their different
portfolios.
So now I'm literally being mentored by doing my job because I'm there. Like, oh, come see, I'm buying something in Sentin. I'm like, 100 million. I'm like,
oh my God.
Because I'm calculating, right? I'm like, so you're gonna make how much from here?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I've already have a lease. There's a company, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You learn, then you go from. And I think we must stop ukunyatsa. Start where you are. If usekasi, because kasi uyalazi.
Start where you are. I love that. I love that.
Mina ngithengisile eJabulani. I worked for Calgary M3 as well. I've worked for the developer. It was very eye-opening to see something like manifest. Like, and now I have people that live there that are friends. EJabulani, the CBD of Soweto. We need to expose ourselves to not rushing. I think social media has made rushing a very...
There's no instant success. It can be, but
it's not everybody. It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. Thanks, Rami, for that. Yes. In fact, I must say, I do recommend Rami. Please do follow Rami. And Rami, please tell us where people can find you. If you've got a website, you've got a Twitter handle, or whatever social platform. Yes,
I do. I have a website. You can go to www.buymeapps.co. I also have Instagram. It's buyme. Or you can go BMA_properties on Insta at BMA_properties _properties on Instagram. You can find me there. All my details are there. Also on my website.
Rami, please do talk to property owners who would like to do what you just, would like to claim.
If you own property in the city or have izindlu room, Soweto, or any township, including Alexandra, we can help you claim the incentive called UDZ. They call it UDZ. Hit me up at info@buymeapps.co.za or Ramonyane @buymeapps.co.za.
Please give your numbers as well.
It's 084-597-9192. It's strictly property. I'm not talking about other things. I've had
Somebody might be hitting on you right
No,
now.
no, no, no. You can hit on me from where you are. Iphelele lapho. Yeah, I mean, on my platforms, it's all money. Yeah, like
Listen to Rami. Oh, to Rami, you can hit on me, but
from lapho.
iphelele
Yeah, like
lapho.
hit. Yeah,
Rami, please.
keep your property.
Yeah.
Keep your hitting.
Yeah,
Own
yeah,
that equity.
yeah, your crush.
Title deed.
Yeah.
Title deed. Akuhlele kuwe. Mina ngifuna business.
Yeah,
I think we
that's
must
all.
make room for playing and make room for working.
Yeah.
My work. Anyone who's met me, they'll tell you I'm a very bubbly person. I'm crazy in terms of fun. I like laughing, but when it comes to business, it's all business. I don't want it's just fun. Hey guys, I don't think we can afford it. We are so behind. We are so behind. We are not even part of 10% of the 13 billion in commissions paid to agents in this country. We should be offended. And until we can use the word, I don't use the word black excellence because it sounds like it falls under white excellence. Because I've never heard of white excellence.
Wow.
So it's just excellence. Like let's pursue that for ourselves, not for the neighbor. If you start promoting love, then automatically the people next door will see and learn. Like we can be infectious. We have to infect other people with good energy because bad energy is the same. Many people's trauma comes from other people. They didn't project their own trauma. So we need to project love. We need to project peace ourselves. If onayo, then you have to get help. Because I see it a lot that we are, someone will be mad at me because I live at a certain place or I drive whatever. It's very toxic to think that my wins are your loss. I don't know who taught black people that other people's wins are your loss. I don't
Who
know.
taught people
I don't know
that?
Isipi Skolo and Ubtagat. That's the first witchcraft is wrong believing. When you believe wrong, it becomes your
My
way of
wins are your losses.
because it becomes conversation.
Wow.
No, chances are when uyambona because uyayitshela vele like kahle there's a kunokuphapha kabi nokuphapha wrong. If mina ukuphapha kwami ukuhlanganelwa like it's to ukuthuthuka, then le wena uthonse uyetse the same. I get it. Like uphaphe ube grand now. Mile sithuthukeni, like it's not a Ramonyane thing. It's an us thing. Like winning or living good is so necessary, and no one talks about it.
Rami, can you please invite your clients, those who need to rent their properties out? Rami is available. Those who need to rent or buy, sell. People who want to sell properties. Rami is doing all of that. Please tell them, then we wrap.
Yes. For sales, rentals. Yes, the contact details already shared. Please note my areas of focus are mostly the CBD. But I do do business with other agents outside the area. My focus area is Joburg, like Joe's. Yeah, it's my big. It's where I'm trying. That's where I want my experience and my
That
identity.
is your stronghold.
Yeah, like that's where I am. That's where you find me. Ikasi ngiyatholakala, but not like Joburg. I do advise if you're looking to ask questions. I do welcome questions, so you can start building. I build what we call building clients. We teach you and show you what you must do to build up your credit score. Then we go to the point where you can get a pre-approval for 90 days from your bank, which is no good business. Then you can go, house hunting with a deposit.
That was Ramonyane Tlou, my client from BMA, Buy Me Apps Company. And thank you for watching the Benster Show. Please do like, subscribe, and follow, comment, and share our videos at large. We love you.